My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Superman. And the DC Universe has struggled for quite some time, and this movie marks a new beginning. This is the first movie of the brand new DC Universe led by James Gunn and Peter Safran. So there's a lot of pressure for this movie to deliver, and it's fine. It's enjoyable. It's just not the home run I wish it was. But let's begin by talking about the cast, and David Cornsweet does a really good job here. He carries the movie incredibly well, and I love how when he's talking as Clark, he's cool and relaxed, but as Superman, he's strong and confident. And I just like that little bit of nuance. I just wish he had more to do. He's good, he elevates the material, but the material can really be lacking. Then we've got Rachel Brosnahan, who I've been a big fan of ever since The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And she is the perfect casting for Lois Lane. And she's good. I just wish she was great. I wish she had more to do. I wish she stood out more. But she doesn't, and like I said, she's still good. There's just potential for more. But then we get to Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and this is the best part of the movie. Nicholas's performance is pitch perfect. It is so over the top, and he's so punchable and hateable, and he just fully delivered as this villain. Nicholas Hoult is starting to become one of the better, most underappreciated actors, and I can't wait to see what he does next. Then we've got Ide Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, and I thought he did a really good job. I didn't care about this character before I saw the movie, but now, he's pretty cool. Then we've got Nathan Fillion, who is funny and entertaining, and he brings enough personality to his character. Nothing great, but he does his job incredibly well. We've got Isabella Merced, who I do like as an actress. She's great in Instant Family, in Sicario Day of the Soldado, in Dora and the Lost City of Gold. She sucked in The Last of Us, but I can forgive that. But she just felt so pointless here. Like, she's in the movie, but she has no character whatsoever. And it's a shame because I grew up on the Justice League TV show, so I wish I was excited about Hawkgirl being brought to life, but I'm not. Then we've got Anthony Kerrigan, who I thought did a pretty good job. He has enough to do and he's very convincing. Then we've got Skylar Gisondo, who as Jimmy Olsen is a real standout. He's funny and he just brings this distinct energy that was very much appreciated. We've got Wendell Pierce, who was perfectly cast, but he's barely in the movie. There was a point where he's on screen, and I just thought to myself, have we seen him before this point? Then Sarah Sempior, she's actually in the movie more than I thought she would be, but she does a pretty decent job. So the cast is good. I wish they were given stronger material, but they still make the most of it. There is one character I haven't yet mentioned, and it's Krypto. And I really didn't like Krypto. No, I get it. It's a super strong dog, but it's just the same joke over and over again, and he's used as a point of Deus Ex Machina, and it just really pissed me off. Um, okay, so we talked about the cast. Let's talk about the tone, and I do like how weird this movie is. It is a comic book movie, and it's not ashamed of it whatsoever, and that was the correct direction for this movie to go in, and I do like how ambitious it is. There's lots of great plot elements on display. It is an entertaining movie. It is funny, and there are some real great moments here. That scene in the trailer where Lois Lane and Superman are having an interview is my absolute favorite scene of this movie. So, I liked it. It's an enjoyable watch. But it should have been better. It really should have been. This movie is a complete mess. And it begins and it just throws you in the middle of the story. And okay, like, I get it. We have had Superman's origin story told so many times before. And, like, we don't need to see it yet again. But that is still the clear foundation for this character, and I couldn't help but feel the absence of a real origin. And in fact, this isn't the first time it has happened. Spider-Man Homecoming skipped over Uncle Ben's death, and you just don't feel the weight of it as a result. And I get it, but it's still an essential piece to the character. And then the Batman skipped over Bruce's origins, and I definitely felt that. So I understand why the decisions are being made, but I do feel like the movies are suffering as a result, and I can't figure out a way out of this predicament. I just can't. I have thought about this so much, and maybe the answer is just normal reboots. Like, I know that's not likely, but at this point, it feels like a lose-lose. And then we get to the story here. And, okay, I gotta be very careful not to give anything away, but there is a plot regarding this country. And I think it works as an inciting incident, as a backstory to the story being told, but then it becomes a very important part again later on, and I was just like, no, stop it. This is unneeded. There's more than enough going on now, and now it just feels overstuffed. And then there's another plot regarding a video. This did not work for me whatsoever. Like, ugh, don't give anything away. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Hated this. Did not connect with it in any way. And this movie does have this kind of reveal in the last act. And don't get me wrong, it's a good reveal. I like it. But I also think now it kind of puts limitations on any sequels. And on top of that, if you look back on the rest of the movie, you just think to yourself, well, if he wanted to do this, then why didn't he just get this guy to do that? I know I'm being vague, but like I said, I don't want to give anything away, but it's a plot hole, and it's really bothering me. And it just feels really choppy at times. The way the movie is cut together, and at 2 hours and 5 minutes, it's a long movie, but I also felt like I didn't get enough in a way where I felt unsatisfied. I didn't feel like I got to know the character of Clark Kent. Hell, Clark Kent is barely in the movie. Like, there's one scene of him at the Daily Planet. Is that it? Maybe, it might just be one scene, maybe two, but we needed more Clark Kent, and we needed more Clark and Lois. Like, this is the relationship of this movie. It is such an important part of the story, and I did not feel satisfied with what we got in any way, shape, or form. And another problem I had was that it lacked any bit of weight. Like, things happen, but they felt meaningless, especially during the action. Like, everything just felt so fake, so phony, that I could never get properly invested. And the action's kind of like blah, like it's entertaining enough, but I don't know. I know James Gunn is capable of more, and there's not a single action scene that I would watch on YouTube when this movie releases online. And look, I love James Gunn. I do. But there is no emotion here. He is so good at bringing emotion to his stories, to his characters, and I just felt like this movie was entirely lacking in that regard. And then when it comes to the visuals, it's very inconsistent. There are some great sets, some great CGI, but some CGI looks really bad. There's this baby character and this river. I understand that this scene is meant to look different. It looked ugly as shit to the point where I couldn't tell what was going on, and I was completely detached from that moment. So, very uneven on a visual level, and the dialogue can be very on the nose, it can be very exposition heavy, and it can be just outright bad. So, I have lots of problems with the script and with the direction of this movie. I think there's too much going on. It feels like a mess. We don't get enough of certain key elements. And some plots, actually most of the plot didn't work for me at all. But I do like these characters. The cast does a good enough job. There's some good humor. There's ambition. It embraces its goofiness. I wish this movie was better. It's fine, it's enjoyable, but it's nothing special. So I'm going to give Superman a 6 out of 10. This really didn't get me excited for the future of this universe, and I'm starting to lose faith in James Gunn. Like, he was on quite the run there, but his last 3 projects have all disappointed. So, But Superman, have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.